Welcome to Chronicles of Old Singapore. This is Dr Loh KS, the people's historian, and I speak to people on their memories of Singapore before it became a global city. Do like the video and subscribe for future episodes. This will help the channel a lot. I'm delighted to have with us today a guest whom I've been asking for quite a while. I met him, I think, some time like half a year ago, earlier this year. And he's really part of our technical generation. He's one of our pioneer marine engineers. He was a marine engineering apprentice, and that is the topic that we want to cover today. In previous episodes, we had talked to two engineering apprentices as well. One of them was Ronnie Chu, and the other one was Yen Yim Tong. I think our guest knows them as well. So let me welcome to the podcast today, Mr. Anthony Wu. Afternoon, Anthony. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Gassing.
Yes, just call me Kasing will do. How old are you now, Anthony?
In a few days' time, I will be 84.
So you were born in 41, right? 1941.
At the end of 1941.
So was this end of 1941? So the Japanese had just bombed Singapore, right?
No, actually, I was born a week before the Japanese bombed Singapore. And as you know, when in February, they started to march down Malaya at that time. Singapore fell in February 1942. So it was hard time. It was terrible time for my parents with 3 children at that time and me, an infant. And during the war, food was scarce. No job, no food. You had to actually grow your own food, make your own bread, or else you have nothing to eat.
Can I ask you, Anthony, what did your parents do? What did your father do?
At the time, he was actually doing odd jobs, caretaker, cook. My mother was looking after us. And I remember when I grew up, when I was a child, my father used to come back in the evening, quite late after work, and I hardly saw him during my early days. Life was really a struggle.
You mentioned that your father was a cook. Where did he cook?
He was cooking, I think, for the British.
Okay. British family.
Yeah.
Are you a Hainanese?
Yes, I am Hainanese.
Okay. The Hainanese are well known to be the domestic servants of the British families.
Well, you see, either we were working in the coffee shop, but it was unfortunate for us actually. My father came to Singapore when he was only 15, and he never saw his father because by the time he was born, my grandfather was here. He was working in the tin mine, but he succumbed to illness and he died when my father was barely in his teenage years.
Where was the tin mine? Was it in Perak?
Ipoh.
Ipoh, okay. The other thing that the Hainanese are well known for is, of course, sailing, right?
Well, as a sailor.
Yes.
Well, the Hong Kong people were also sailors because, living on a small island, the sea is not too far away. And being a sailor is or was a good livelihood.
Right. Did this mean, Anthony, that when you were young, when you were a child, you lived in with a British family?
No. My parents used to rent a house
Mm.
or a room, to be exact, just renting a room, and then the whole family would pack in. Where I now live actually was also the area when my parents rented rooms from landowners or
Mm.
landlords.
Mm.
And I remember I used to roam around this area on the hill, which wasn't developed then. One day the hill was cleared up, and it was a muddy piece of a piece of hill,
Mm.
and I played there. And now, as I drive past, I would remember those days.
Mm.
And there is this area known as the Trevose Crescent. That used to be a road there, muddy road, and the wayang stages would be built. And now and then, I guess it must have been the seventh month,
Mm.
when the wayang was on, and the road would be lined with hawkers selling pickled fruits. And I remember that quite well,
Mm.
although I was only perhaps about 5 or 6 years old.
Where is Trevose Crescent? I've
Trevose
not heard of
Crescent,
it.
if you come down Dunyan Road,
Okay.
heading to Newton, you would come across Kiam Hock Road. Kiam Hock Road uh, would go, go to the right, and you'll find Trevose Crescent. And being a crescent, if you continue driving the way, you get back to Kiam Hock Road.
Mm. Mm.
Many people will remember Wayang Satu.
Yes, yes.
Wayang Satu
Yeah.
would be where the Stevens MRT station is now.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
And so I am still living in this area, and I never regret uh, having got a place here, living comfortably,
Mm.
and being able to look back all these years.
The area Trevose Crescent, the area of Wayang Satu has changed a lot, right?
That's right. These
Mm.
days, if you know the area, you know the Raffles Town Club.
Yes, yes. Yeah.
That's in the corner of Danyan Road and Whitley Road.
Mm. Mm.
And again, quite a landmark, I would
Yeah.
say.
Yeah. It's going to be closed down, right? The Raffles Town Club.
Yeah,
Yeah.
unfortunately, well, I'm not sure what the government has a plan
Mm.
there. Some years back, quite many years back, that used to be a fringe car park.
Uh,
You know, those days, to alleviate the traffic volume, um, people were urged to park in the fringe car parks
mm.
of the city area and take public transport from where they park their cars. But
Mm.
I, I don't believe the scheme was successful. So that area now it had been given to property development.
Anthony, you speak English very well. So tell us, what schools did you go to? You went to English schools?
No, I started education in a Chinese school,
Ah.
and after a few years, my father decided the better prospect would be to switch to an English school.
Mm.
And I had to sit for the entrance examination to join an English school. And I joined in primary two, no, primary three.
Mm.
And I was a bit overage. Anyway, I progressed through primary 4 and primary 5. By primary 5, the principal reckoned that some of us being a bit overage, we should try to advance our education. And I was given a chance to sit for the PSLE when I was in primary 5. So it was like a Saturday makeup classes. And I sat for the PSLE. And wonderfully, I got through. And I got into Victoria School. And I joined, at that time, it was known as Form 2.
Victoria School at the time was not too far
Excuse
away
me.
from your house, yeah?
Victoria School would be along Serangoon Road, just
Correct,
in the
yes.
in the neighborhood of Serangoon Road. And I stayed there for 1 year because of primary 6, which I missed. I was okay for maths, but English was a bit of a struggle. But nevertheless, when the opportunity came up for a switch, instead of continuing in Victoria School, there was this opportunity in the Naval Base. The Naval Base was looking for teenagers of 15 to sit for an examination, selection examination, and to join the apprenticeship scheme. And I knew some friends who had been apprentices already in the 1955-1956 cohort of apprenticeship. So I joined, and I was recruited. I was recruited in 1957. So I started in 1957, and we had to go through the 5-year apprenticeship scheme, which was very good. It was actually a very foundational preparation for teenagers like us who were poor, whose family was poor, and that we were given this opportunity to be trained in the shipyard, as well as given the chance to attend technical education. Now, this scheme was a very prestigious scheme because I now found that, some 3,000 children or boys applied to join, but eventually only 100 qualified, selected, and offered. And apart from the training that we received, the technical education we went through, we were paid $25 a week. And that was good money to support our parents, which by that time, the family, some of us would be in families of 4 children, 5 children, or more. And that elevated our poverty to some extent. And I was glad I took that path.
Sorry, Anthony. You mentioned just now kind of the poverty situation in your family. Was that why you didn't complete Victoria School and decided to go to the Dockyard?
Well, that would be a main reason because while struggling to catch up on the English and the mathematics standards, it's actually shaken my confidence. But the main draw was poverty. At that time, my parents had my elder brother studying, my younger sister studying. So three of us would be studying. My elder sister was already old enough to also start working to supplement the family income. So by the time I joined as apprentice and started earning, it certainly helped the family a big deal. And that allowed my brother and my younger sister to go through their full education.
So your younger sister and your younger brother were still in school?
No. I have an older brother.
Okay. Your older brother was already working also?
No, he was studying. He was
okay.
eventually, by the time I was serving my apprenticeship, he had enrolled in the university and he needed some support. And I remember giving him $1, 50 cents a day to help him along, other than what my father paid for his fees.
That's amazing. You supported your parents, but also your older brother, yeah, and your younger sister. Anthony,
being in the family those days, it is like a close-knit situation. And you really don't want to see your siblings struggling harder than you did.
Yeah.
So that was life.
Anthony, I want to ask you, before you went to the dockyard, did you have any background or experience with technical, technical work or technical education? Did you like doing technical things?
Well, actually, the sentiment at that time was that if you continued remaining in secondary school and then complete with a senior Cambridge. In those days, the GCE O level was known as a senior Cambridge certificate. Then you would be academically routed and you could become a clerk. If you finish just senior Cambridge, you could become a clerk. At that time, there was no teachers training per se. So to become a teacher, my guess would be that you would have to continue like a 3-year course in a teachers training college. So if I had continued like that, I would end up, clerical, administrative, and I was not I was not against being trained to work with my hands because I was quite out and about kind of boy. And technical education would actually be giving a different set of opportunity. As it turned out, it was a very good opportunity for those who took up the technical education path. When I look at the internet, I could see that in Singapore, our trade education actually started in 1929 under the British colonial government. And that school, the technical school, was actually situated as Scotch Road. Later, it actually moved to Balestier, and eventually we had in 1963 what was known as the Singapore Vocational Institute. So up to that time, there was actually not a lot of push to get the youngsters be vocationally trained. and educated. But the British had their idea of equipping the dockyard with hands-on trained and classroom learning youngsters who would become artisans in the mechanical, electrical, in the shipwright, or carpentry trades. And these youngsters, they intended that these youngsters, by the time they finish their 5 years, they would be 20, 21. And after further years of exposure in the dockyard as artisans, they would eventually replace the British expatriates who were there as judge hand, foremen, engineers. And these people would then go back to England and reduce the cost for running the dockyard for the Royal Navy. That was the plan that the British had from 1953, 1954. Eventually, when they had the permission to implement the scheme, they started the apprenticeship in 1955. That was when the first batch of Singapore teenagers became apprentices.
Yeah, thank you very much, Anthony, for the kind of the understanding of the origins of the Dockyard Training College, the Technical College. Essentially, after the Second World War, the British government in Britain was bankrupt, and they were trying to reduce costs in order to maintain their overseas empire, including the Singapore Naval Base. So I think that explains why there was this new course, apprenticeship scheme, to recruit locals, right, to take over from the British personnel. So, Anthony, can you tell us about this Dockyard Technical College, which was inside the naval base, right?
Yes, that's right. We had sort of a day release course at the Dockyard Technical College. So every week we would spend 2 days in the college. We were taught English, of course, mathematics, chemistry, physics, mechanics, and we had 4 years of that education. Every year, those who did not make it would have to stop. So when we first started, it would be 4 classes. Every year, we will be down by 1. And eventually, by the time we reach 4th year, there would only be 1 class of about 20 students who would sit for the final examination. The final examination would get us a Dockyard Technical College certificate issued by London, the British Royal Navy London Dockyard Technical College certificate. And one could get either the first class or second class. This paper qualification was, of course, hard-earned, but it was not earned except through hard work and the efforts of very good British lecturers. I remember some of the lecturers who were well respected, who had a good sense of humor whilst lecturing us. You could see that they were very strict, stern looking, but yet they have under their appearance, they would have a sense of humor.
Right. Let me show you some of the photos you kindly sent me, right? Then you can tell us about them. It says here Dockyard Technical College. with the students, right?
Now, this would be a picture of a year-end picture of all the prize winners of the different groups of apprentices.
You are here in the picture?
If you look at the second row standing, I am third from left.
Third from left here.
On my left, looking towards the right side of the photo, we knew Chua Chor Teck. Chua Chor Teck was actually our idol because he was always top of his class. And as you know, Chua Chor Teck later, upon graduation and having his scholarship in England, he came back and became general manager, managing director of Keppel Shipyard. So he had been a pioneer in the maritime industry, and he did very, very well. And all of us respected him and look up to him as our beacon, and for us to also try and do just as well.
So do you mean the tall guy here beside you? Is that Chua Chor Teck?
No. That was Fu Hiliat. If you look to the right, let's count from the right side.
Oh, the right side. Okay.
He is number 6, counting from the right side. He wasn't tall.
Okay, here.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. And sorry, where are you? You are on the left, is it?
I'm third from the left.
Okay, so this is you, right? Okay.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay, got it. So Chua Chor Teck is here. Chua Chor Teck is actually quite a legend, right, in the industry.
Yeah.
Everyone mentions him. Everyone, admires him. Could you tell us his personality?
Chor Teck was a very humble, very simple person. Now, I worked with his brother when we were in Shell, and I got a story from his brother, Chua Chu Cheng, about his background. Chua Chor Teck's background was even worse than some of us, and but he remained very humble. So, story about Chua Chor Teck appeared in our book. We strive and we thrived. So when I spoke to Chua Chu Cheng, and we interviewed Mr. Chua Chor Teck's widow, Alice, we had a full story of Chor Teck, his family background, his determination to succeed. So that was a good story that we pieced together as an inspiration to anyone in that kind of situation.
Yeah. The book, We Strive and We Thrive, right? Is it available online to download?
We haven't got that organized. It's on hard copy. We still have the prints. We have the books. We can share that free of charge. And we have been doing that with Citrium. Citrium is the shipyard, is the company that actually operates the Sembawang shipyard now. And we left some books with them. We left some books with the Polytechnic and the ITE, but we still have quite a few, and we are ready to share that free of charge with anybody who wants to take a look at the stories that we featured. Now, apart from the book, we also produce a video, and the video is known as a legacy to build on. The legacy is really what we had been through, how we, from poor families, we went through tough training, further education, further work experience gaining, and progress in life and succeeded. Now we have that video which captured the historical setup when the apprenticeship became a reality for us. And here again, of course, the video would be available online. However, the maritime port authorities have also taken the video and screened that at their maritime gallery in the Coastal Drive area. So anybody who visits the Singapore Maritime Gallery would be able to view that video, and that actually for us is a very good way of disseminating our legacy. And I would encourage visitors to the gallery to spend like 26 minutes to view the full video. The other agency that has requested for our book and our video is the National Heritage Board. Now, to us, getting into the National Heritage Board would mean that our legacy would be featured there, eventually finding their ways into the Founders Memorial and be housed perpetually, I hope, as an evidence of our contribution to the Singapore economy at the time when we finished, when we went through 1970s, 1980s, 1990s. Our contributions, I would say personally, I'm proud that I have been part of that setup.
Yes, I mean the reason why I wanted to interview Anthony and other of the old apprentices and also people in the marine industry more generally is we kind of usually tend to neglect the contributions of these pioneers in the marine industry, because so much of our emphasis is on the academic side and on the white collar people, but not to forget that the blue collar, the engineers, the marine engineers, the people who went through the apprenticeship scheme play a very big role in our economic development, in the 1970s and 80s, right? So I'm going to leave a link to my email. You can write to me if you want to get a copy of the book, and I will, arrange with Anthony, somehow to send you a copy if you like. It's a great book, and the video is wonderful as well. I remember there were many interviews that were featured in the video as well as the book. So Anthony, I just want to go back to Chua Chor Teck a bit. You said that he was the top student in the class, right? Like, how good was he in his technical skills?
I can't say that. I can't answer that question. He was 1 year ahead of me.
I see. Okay.
He was in a different department. He was in what was known as civil construction, shipwright. Hence, he was closer to the shipyard, shipbuilding industry than myself because I was an engine fitter. In other words, I was trained to repair, whilst Chor Teck when he finally graduated as a naval architect, he would be there designing and building ships, and I would be, in the engine room.
Yes,
I
yes.
would be doing the repair jobs
Yeah, yeah.
rather than doing any design and building. So, but knowing Chor Teck to be a very diligent, hardworking person, I don't think he would miss out in any way what was required of him for hands-on application in his trade.
Okay, got it. Do you want to talk about some of these British instructors? Do you remember them?
Yeah, the one that or the ones I remember would be Standish. Uh, Standish would be in the front row, I think, uh, third or second from the left. If you,
Okay.
yeah, he was third from the left.
Third from the
And
left, the
then
one with
if
the
you,
curly hair, is it? The curly hair one.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
if you go further right,
Yeah.
second from right is Milner.
Okay.
Milner uh, had a limp. Uh, I understood him to have been injured uh, in the Second World War, and he was an officer, a submarine officer, and he was injured in the knee. So he walked with a limp. Milner was known to be rather stern, strict, and fierce, but his sense of humor was that whenever we were feeling sleepy and nodding uh, with sleepiness during the lectures, he would yell at us, "Go and wash your face. Put your head in twice, come out once." If you interpret that correctly, that means you put your head in, and even if you come out once, you go in again, second time, you stay there. So put your head in twice, come out once. if you interpreted that. And one day when someone was playing a prank on me, and he stole my bicycle, and I had to run back from the library to the class, which was like 50 meters down the road. And by the time I dashed into the class, I was yelling at this chap, "You so and so," with the vulgarity added. And Milner then, I was shocked that Milner had already started the class, and I was scared that he would reprimand me. But instead of reprimanding me, he said, "Is he also known by other name?" In other words, you label the person with vulgarity, then here the lecturer is asking, "Is he also known by other name?" Which means that if not, then that vulgarity will stay as the only name for that friend of mine.
Can I ask you, Anthony? You mentioned that these officers were quite strict. So, do you think all this, discipline, the strictness, is very important in the dockyard, in the marine industry?
Actually, that was a given.
Mm.
Either you stay studious, do your homework, do the exercises. And I remember I got from Milner, who was our science teacher, we got a set of 50 questions to try on our own. And if you did that, you would have enough exercise to prepare for the final examination. So if you don't, or if anyone did not bother, then he will be one of the dropouts every year. Like I said, the cohort were reduced in numbers by one class. And eventually, by the fourth year, only one class of students would be ready for the final examination.
Wow. So the exams were quite of a high standard, right?
It was high standard because the papers were marked in London, and the results would be widely known and recognized throughout the Commonwealth countries. And I remember that I did very well in my science paper.
Right.
And the comment which was given back to me was that it was one of the best results that they have seen in years.
Wow, that's quite amazing. Can you talk about some of your classmates that you can still remember in this picture?
One of my close friends at that time, and he liked to play prank on me. He is Lim Kia Tao. Lim Kia Tao, of course, would know Chua Chor Teck because they were in the same department. Lim Kia Tao used to threaten me to say that he would beat me in the final examination. Now, I took that threat seriously, and I studied like crazy, and I beat him instead. But this, I think perhaps you should censor it because I don't want Lim Kia Tao to hear that. I don't want Kia Tao to hear this.
What did he do afterwards? Did he remain in the industry?
Oh, Kia Tao was ambitious. He went on to study university, and he studied. He started studying mathematics, but he found that in mathematics it was more demanding than physics. So he switched to physics, and in physics he would still need to do calculation, but it wasn't as rigorous and intense as if someone would study mathematics. He graduated with a science degree. He set up his own shipyard, and he did rather well. So,
right. What shipyard was this?
I can't recall the name for now, but it was mentioned in the book.
Okay, no problem. I have another photo. Okay, this one is a different year, is it?
Yeah, unfortunately I can't remember the year, but
Yeah.
my guess is this could be either my third year, because if you see Chua Chor Teck in there, because Chua Chor Teck was 1 year ahead of me, if it was my third year, Chua Chor Teck would be in his fourth year, and therefore his graduation photo. So I can't.
Right.
I think it could well be. It could well be my third year, because the lecturers that came to join us, um, uh, I could see them and I could remember them having joined us. Apart from Standish, I think would have left by that time.
Milner is not here anymore, right?
Milner is there.
He's
He's
there.
third from the left. Third from the left.
Yeah. Okay. And you are here fourth from the right? Is that you? This is you?
That's right.
Okay. Were many of these boys, the Chinese boys, Cantonese or Hainanese?
Well, Lim Kia Tao is Hainanese. There's one, the third row third row standing, third person from the left.
Okay.
Then if you go right, second from the right.
Okay.
Yeah. He's also Hainanese. Fu
Okay.
Hiliat. Fu, as you know, the surname Fu would be Hainanese. Second row, second from the right, he's Hainanese.
Can I ask you, Anthony, did you form close friendship and relationship with your classmates?
No, you see, when I finished my apprenticeship in 1961, early 1962, I left. I went to sea. I became a junior marine engineer with shell tankers. So I left. After leaving, I continued with shell tankers for a few years. Then I came back and I continued with shell companies in the refinery. And I lost touch with these people.
Okay.
And years later, when Kiatao invited me to his place, I visited him, but he never mentioned about the association which they set up in 1969. If I had known that they set up the association, I would, of course, have joined. But nobody mentioned this to me until much later, like 10 years back, after I had retired. Then one day we had a National Day lunch organized by the association, and I joined, and I then became aware of these people. And by that time, so many people have been aged. And Kiatao wasn't there because he was not well on that occasion. And I miss seeing him. I could see some of these people that I have been in touch with. Ronnie Chu, I did not meet as an association member. He worked in Shell, and I know him. And again, I didn't even know that he had been ex-apprentice. Some of those people who worked under me, I barely knew that they were ex-apprentices. So I was actually out of touch insofar as the association is concerned.
Right. It is quite strange. You are, of course, talking about the OEAA, right? The Old Engineering Apprentices Association, which had put out the book and the video on the apprentices. Yeah. Okay, great. I want to ask you about the kind of the practical work that you all did in the workshops at the dockyard. Could you talk about that?
Yes. The first 4 years, we were rotated. And the very first year was spent in the workshop, in the training center. We worked with machines. We worked with hand tools. And it was required of us. I'm actually talking specifically about the chief engineer's department. Although later I knew that the other departments follow more or less the same path. But first year, we spent together in the training center where we were trained to use hand tools, work with machines, produce metal pieces to precision. And we had to sit for a test. The construction of a device as a test piece before we completed first year and passed the first year. Thereafter, the second, third, and fourth year, we would rotate through the different workshops, um, engine workshops, molding workshop, pattern making, foundry, and the fourth the fourth year would also subject us to stripping the engine and doing the repairs thereof. And all these years, we would be assigned to work with a group of um, full-time fitters who were supposed to be our Sifu, but whether we got real training or we were just coffee making, buying coffee, depended on the individual Sifu, how dedicated they were and how ready they were to relinquish senior positions to us. But of course, it depended on our individuals whether we learn more or less. By the fifth year, we were a bit more independent. We were serving on board the ship. We took part in a sea trial of the warships. After the repair, our individual pieces of work that were subject to checks and inspections, we would be witnessing the trials of these warships when they went through the sea trials.
Right.
And then, of course, after the fifth year, we were then made fitters, second grade fitters. Fitters, I think the grading was fitter 2 or something like that. Fitter 2, fitter 1, and then you become charge hand. But that wasn't a job that we were going to hang on to. So I left. I left very quickly.
Anthony, this thing about coffee is very funny and interesting, of course. Some of the viewers may not understand what is meant by buying coffee. Can you explain the buying coffee for the Sifu?
In the context of today, you probably don't see much of such a situation. In the old days, if you were in a workshop, at the workbench, there would be a team of 3 or 4 workers, whether they were fitters or carpenters, and you were a trainee assigned to that team, you will get the worst job. And nothing can be worse than to be told, hey, can you go and buy for us the coffee? And you can't say no. If you want to learn something, obviously the answer would have to be yes. Then you run off to go and get coffee for these people. Now, I can't remember whether they paid us to get the coffee for them or they expected to be given the treat.
Oh my God.
Other than that, worst jobs could be you help opening up an engine. In some of the greasy parts, they say, can you clean this up? Can you wash this up? And at that time, the health standard was actually not good. And you would be exposing to kerosene. Whilst you are washing the engine parts, you're using kerosene. And dermatitis was really not heard of. And if you had taken care of your own health, you would eventually, having to dry your hands, go and wash with soap and so on to protect yourself from dermatitis. For those who have a chronic health condition and ending up with the dermatitis, that could well mean the end of one's training.
Can you tell us who your Sifu was? Was he a good Sifu, or was he someone who told you to buy coffee?
Um, Actually, I didn't do too much of the coffee buying.
Okay.
The Sifu I remembered, he was Hainanese, and in fact, the workshop that I was attached initially had several Hainanese.
Mm,
Um, my direct Sifu was a fair-looking, plump person. He was the younger brother of the foreman,
mm,
who was, of course, also a Hainanese. And I remember the my Sifu would finish a piece of job and report to his brother, and not in a very confident way,
mm,
he would interact with his brother. And so I got the impression that this younger brother was actually quite filial to the
mm,
foreman, uh, being lower in rank as well, in so far as the job seniority was concerned. And I remember the other fitters, they quite a number of Hainanese, and I remember they were all living in the naval base area.
mm, mm.
Uh, and so um, I never had the chance to actually loiter and roam around the outside the naval base,
Mm,
where their flats, they had blocks of flats where they were housed. Um, I didn't have a chance to have a good look around those areas. Some of the members of OEAA would mention that they lived in this block or that block,
mm.
and making reference to their living uh, quarters and being neighbors to so and so. They would do that. I have no idea.
I see, I see. Can I ask you, Anthony, what is the name of your Sifu?
I can't remember.
But what was his background? Was he already in the industry, right? He was, or was he employed in the naval base?
Yeah, definitely. They were all in the industry.
All right.
They might have been there from, you see, Naval Base was set up in 1938.
Mm,
Then the war came in 1942. By the time I joined as apprentice, it was 1957. So these guys will probably be uh, employed from probably either the late 50s or mid 50s, late 40s or
right,
mid
right.
50s.
Mm,
So they had the experience of the fitting job. You see, the fitting job means that if bearing needs to be changed,
mm,
uh, we had only just begun to be using ball bearings. Ball bearings nowadays, you just remove it and you put a new piece in. But when the engine is a larger size, you may have a white metal piece of bearing which supports the shaft of the engine. And when that is worn, they will have to recast with white metal.
mm,
And the recasting would generally produce a piece which would still have to be fitted nicely to the shaft so that it would have perfect bearing surface. And the fitter would have to use a scraper, which is a sharp knife, and they
mm,
would skillfully uh, scrape the white metal and fit onto the shaft. Each time they scrape something, they will put a marker paste on the shaft, and they will rotate the white metal bearing round the shaft a few times until the indentation is on the white metal surface, and then where it was not evenly scraped, they will have to correct that until the surface is correctly and accurately prepared. And of course, if you over scrap, if you remove too much white metal, then the whole thing is scrap, and you have to go and recast the bearing. So it was nothing short of hands-on skill work, which the fitters were capable of. And of course, depending on the skill, you could be 53, 52, or 51.